Hi Scorpio, I wanted to do a detailed reading for you today. I hope you guys are doing well. Everything's pre-shuffled. Just like to shuffle at least once or twice more before I cut and start for you. I already pulled meters for you, okay? Just for the sake of saving time, and you know, you guys are a superstar this month. There's a lot of really powerful energy. Definitely check out the eclipse reading if you haven't already that I did, both of them, since they were in your opposing 7-7 signs with Taurus. Really big, really big for you. It looks like you're pretty busy here. I'm going to take a peek at the charts here in a second as well. Once I stop pulling these lanes, I'm going to be pulling 4 lanes of tarot for you today. Okay, I'm also using extended Lenormands and some oracles, okay, in your leader lanes. I see like there's a lot going on at work, okay, and it does look like it's either, I mean, it could be at home, but you're dealing with some sort of individual that might be precarious in some sort of way, either deceptive, like wearing a mask. At the same time, you're really magnetic, so you're attracting a lot, okay, but there's somebody here that you're dealing with, or some sort of you know, I don't know if I want to call it adversity, but like somebody is there's some stuff that you're dealing with here. I also see, you know, that you're investing heavily in work, or some sort of investment, okay, that you want to become really good at, and speaking out on that, okay. Some of you may work from home, all right. On our first lane, we have, just to call these out, let me take my earbuds out, I don't need them. Just to call these out, we have the 7 of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the 6 of Wands, the Empress, and the 8 of Pentacles. So that is some big boss energy right there, all right? And a lot of communication on it. I think communication on some sort of win, all right, came about in the recent past here for you guys, all right, regarding a significant investment that you made, okay. I am a little bit concerned, and I may pull some clarifiers on some of these cards, because it does, on some of my outliers here, because it does look like they're whatever win this was and whatever you've been working on, it took a lot, okay. I do see victory here. There may have been some public acclaim or personal acclaim within your groups, okay, in regards to some things that have gone on in the recent past, some sort of victory or public recognition here with it, all right, and to do with your work, something you've worked very hard at, maybe an expert at, okay. But you know, you may have had to be protective in a way, because there may have been some sort of distractions here that were, you know, intense enough to make you sad, okay, from somebody or many people that you were dealing with in this regard, okay. On the second lane here, we have the 2 of Cups, the 5 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Queen of Wands, okay. Some of you may be involved with a fire sign, or dealing, if you, you know, there you are. It's so funny, like you pop off with fire mates quite often in my readings for you. And I'm not like the only one. This has been like an ongoing trend. I mean, other tarot readers are getting the same thing, so it's funny. It's funny how these things go in patterns. Anyways, I feel like you're going to be really cooking it by the end of this month. Those of you that are born by the Scorpio Sag cusp or have Sag placements, I expect it to be extremely powerful for you, because there is a trine from, you know, from the cusp of Aries and Pisces, where Jupiter is, okay, to Sag, and to that Sag Scorpio cusp, all right. And you guys are experiencing a trine that you'll experience through this later half of this month, that'll really kind of inject you with some a lot of luck and benevolence, okay? It does look like there's a higher order here looking down over you, okay? This is really good. And I do feel like there's some cause for celebration as well as getting into a routine of some things, all right? That's going to be pretty like a big release for you, okay? This may require some new foundations to chase your wish fulfillment here on every level, but I do see you striving towards that, okay? It does look like, I want my, let me pull a clarifying deck here so that I can. On this second lane, you know, you guys may have some worries in regards to a partnership, okay? It could be a marriage, all right? For those of you that have any Libra or Taurus in your chart, that area of your chart is for sure popping off. It could be another female figure in your life, but there does look like there's some significant relationship here, okay, with someone here, all right? You know, call it your soulmate, call it your twin flame, whatever you want to call it, all right? And there is some like cleanup, you know, in regards to kind of purging the old towards going towards the new here, which is of some significance, which has been some sort of success here in the recent past, all right? I do feel like it has to do with work. I do feel like there was some straight talk in regards to that. And I do think that there's some sadness. I don't know if that's because you're leaving some things behind that you were long attached to or some new phase, but I do feel like you've had to separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, okay, here on some things, and there may have been some distractions here along the way and a mourning process into what you were creating, okay? Some of you could be in some kind of fashion or beauty industry, but not necessarily, you know. An Empress is, you know, a lot of fertility. So if it was something with work, something new here, that's quite a big win here in the past that you invested a lot of time into, and you may have had to speak a lot on or deal with some sly and crafty sorts, all right? Hold on a second. I feel like you had to, you know, give some straight talk here in regards to independence, all right? And in regards to independence on some things, okay? Again, I'm getting that, you know, I do think this is very tied to Jupiter, all right? Some of you may have been dealing with somebody with some aqua in their chart, an Aquarius here. Possibly that was kind of sly or underhanded in some way, or like dropping, like kind of outwitting this person or dealing with this person on some sort of major thing to do with work for some of you, okay? And again, I am getting like some symbology here that there was like, I don't want to say a winner and a loser, but you know, something may have been misfortunate, okay, that happened that involves some lying or deceit here, okay? Although I do see you coming out of it, and I'm not sure that it was on your part. It may have been somebody else, okay? Give me 3 on this. Here. Yeah. I feel like if you have been going through a big grief phase, that there has been like some sort of ending to that grief, or some of you may still be grieving, okay? Some of you could be grieving over a child, or over a something that you were kind of obsessed with, all right? But there is an end to any dysfunction dealing with some sort of scenario here that caused you some grief. You know, you may have been mourning somebody, you may have been dealing with something that is related to a child, sun, moon, rising with some water in their sign, okay? Or some sort of news here or that ended, okay? Now, some of you may have had like a crush that like didn't work out, never like got off phase, and that it could have been with somebody that you were a little bit obsessed with that had some sort of ending here, but it does look like it was pretty strong. Okay, give me the demo. Some of you could have been working with a Capricorn, but not necessarily. It could have been some sort of thing that blew up here, or some end to a situation here that was not altogether healthy. All right, for those of you that are involved, in any kind of like, hold on a second, give me this. Some of you may have had a contract that flew south as well, especially if you're in like the military or police force or something like this. You may have had an agreement, or you may have been involved in some negotiations that have been extremely tension filled at work or something of this sort as well. Okay, I just don't want to leave any of you guys out. But I do see that it came out victorious. Although if you were dealing with somebody like that, you were dealing with somebody that was like a real asshole here in the wings. I hate to say that. And I see a lot of new beginnings here. Okay. And it may be because somebody showed their ass, you know, or did something stupid at work. Okay. I do see a new beginning after that occurrence, whatever it is. Like maybe somebody like burned themselves up or something like this. Okay, something, you know, where they got themselves screwed up, and now there's new opportunity. And for some of you, I do feel like there is possibly some new investment with new love or a creative project here that has come about that's of quite some significance. And if so, then you may have met that person through work. Okay, or somebody had some big win at work, either you or your mate. Okay. Give me this over here. I do see in the present that there is a lot of concern or worry in regards to some news. It could be about a new course of study or a child that's off studying. For others of you, it could be about a new position, okay, or where to take your work next on some particular issue where you're having trouble discerning, seeing the forest through the trees on something. And it is causing a little bit of stress. Okay, now this may have to do with a child. Okay, and specifically what to explore as to work or in regards to children. If it is in regards to children, if there is some concern, it could be about the past. Hold on a second. Give me this five, okay? And if it is about the past, then I feel like it might be about a sibling or children that you have, all right? Especially if they're a fire or earth sign, okay? For others of you, I feel like this is about new things with work, and for whatever reason, there may be a conflict with your spouse in regards to what to do in certain scenarios with work to move forward on some items here. Okay, I do see some conflict that may involve a mother figure, and possibly a mother figure, and possibly, you know, with some either Cancer or Virgo in their chart. Okay, but there's some sort of coming together here, all right, about how to move forward into victory, or how to retrain and do things better. Okay, and I do feel like you've been investing a lot of time and effort into that. Okay, for some of you, there could have been arguments about whether or not to have a child. Okay, I just don't leave all you guys out. Okay, but God, you got a lot of page energy popping up. I just feel like there's some of this may involve either your mother or issues with the children. Okay, maybe waiting for your last to grow up, or your last to be not worry about your last anymore, or something of this nature for some of you. But for others of you, I feel as if there may be some kind of efforts that you took, you know, that you're considering, you know, making a decision on, okay? For some of you, there could be somebody that you're watching over. Again, I'm getting some real secretive vibes here for some reason. Okay, I have the Fool with the High Priestess and the Page of Swords. Hold on a second. And I feel like, it's like what you're waiting on is secret, or you're waiting to make some big move on something that isn't completely out there yet, okay? Again, if you are involved in any sort of undercover work or police or military work, this could be having to do with like things that you do that are secretive in nature or something of this sort, okay? For others of you, there may have been battles in family about security and wealth accumulation, or what to do in regards to issues regarding family security and wealth. All right, and there may have been like some hasty fight, like all-out brawl that you've had recently on something, okay, here in the present moment, where it's hard to know what to do on something, okay? But that you're like, I definitely feel like you're trying to get somewhere, but then every once in a while there's these blow-ups. Give me this Queen of Wands here. I do feel like there is a sense of heartbreak and defensive-ness around a mother issue, okay, and it could be about the children or infighting or something like this, but it, you know, in your own household or with your own mother or something of this sort, dealing with your siblings, whatever it is caused like some heartbreak here, and a feeling of defensiveness, but there is some sort of coming out or dropping your walls in regards to some heartbreak or defensiveness, okay, or there is on the part of somebody with some fire in their chart, okay, about the balance of, you know, the give and take and how things are doled out, and that could just be in the give and take and the balance between your relationship, or arguments about what you do for your children, something of this sort, okay. I do feel like there is some sort of warning here, okay, and I feel like you already know what the issue is, and it is about some sort of kind of obsession or codependency in a relationship, or something related to the past here, that is of concern, all right? And again, I'm popping here with some of you, again, I feel like are involved with an old or new soulmate, okay? And that, you know, sometimes that could be a sibling, but I'm not sure that it is in this case, but I am popping it again here with like some that you're obsessed, you know, some sort of warning, you know, here is here for you in regards to investments, you know, and related to something to the past, all right? There may have been some investments into something that where you feel like you're bonded into it, like you can't get out, because of your investments in some sort of old relationship or something like this here. Now, for some of you, you could just be really committed to examining codependencies or like dysfunction within yourself and your relationships, or your own obsessions or something on something of significance here. And I do see a lot of movement and forward movement on it, okay, that like there's something here about you having the tools that you need to deal with this, okay? This could involve like some sort of, you know, feelings of, you know, just filling your cup emotionally, okay? And communicating on that to make a decision about a new beginning, all right? For some of you, you could be really having to communicate on how to get a routine right to embrace some sort of new beginning that's kind of a wish fulfillment for you. Okay, I do feel like you got something that was, or getting something, you know, and the process may not be completely over. Some of you may have to drop some baggage to accept a new thing and make it routine, you know, to bring it into your everyday existence. You may have to, you know, take some action and drop some baggage to take hold of a new home, or, you know, dropping baggage as to your home. But I feel like for most of you that this does have to do with the routine of settling into going after something new that's quite of some significance. All right, now some of you could have moved, all right, and had to get it, or are going to have to move, something of this sort, or been moving around a lot. And yeah, I'm getting some travel that's indicated here, okay? And maybe for pleasure, or you may feel like you don't get to get enough like downtime or like romance time or something of this sort here, all right? You know, I am feeling that way, or like there's some sort of restrictions around travel or movement, okay? You know, you guys been working really, really hard at something, or cooped up in the house or something too long. But for a lot of you, I feel like there is some freedom from prior restrictions as to travel, all right? And movement and communication, all right? And I do feel like you're kind of being guided to do that. I feel like there are some protections here, and I feel like maybe you just couldn't have the freedom of mobility before, that you're breaking some bonds with those things, all right? I do feel like there is a decision here that you've been thinking about on, you know, solidifying your happy home environment here, okay, with family, that you've been considering insofar as a new beginning. And I feel like you are going to have that new beginning, all right? And like around the time of the new moon, which is, what is it, the 23rd, all right? And I'll be doing a separate new moon reading, that will be a very fortuitous time for you, but you're already going to be experiencing that strong trine from, you know, if you have anything in latter Pisces especially, but Jupiter is there, and, you know, Jupiter's going to be trining off with, you know, Venus and Mercury, which are, you know, by the time we get there are going to be into Sagittarius. So it's pretty strong, it's pretty heavy, and positive. So I do feel like you guys have experienced a lot of positivity, energy wise, okay? And will continue to do so through at least the end of November. Let me just put you here for a second. You know, again, there are some strong creative projects or children vibes I'm getting, and or romance vibes that I'm getting, and you know, so I would expect that those to expand and be on the burner here for you guys, all right? And some transitions to be taking place, and it does look like it's very healing. For those of you that got a new position, again, there may be some public, you know, publicity attached to them in some way or another here, okay? And I do feel like there is some sort of celebration of some magnitude down here, all right? Some new stead, so to speak. And I do feel like some of you may have a like Pisces or something that is in your periphery, or you've dealt with here, okay? It may have been a mother figure that passed over that had some water in their chart, all right? Or some aqua, possibly, all right? Or, you know, I'm also picking up on some, it could be Taurus, or some, you know, the Venus placement of Libra here. Hold on. But I am, again, picking up on a mother figure here that's predominant, either in your home, you know, or issues to do with this, okay? I am seeing like that some of you could be involved in some sort of government or legal matters here, or dropping, again, some deception or some old, yeah, things here to do. It could deal with addiction, but I'm not getting it in that way. I'm getting some bondage to government or bureaucracy here that there's some messaging about, okay? That you need a lot of strength to deal with and to break old bonds. But I do see that happening, all right? And I've just got a Queen of Cups on a Queen of Cups. I'm not sure if it's in your home or at work that either someone else is putting on a show or you feel like you need to put on a little bit of a show, okay? And I do feel like there is some like hope and some shedding of old investments in order to transition to new ones. And for some of you, those could be at work, and some of them, they could be at home, okay? Where you're investing a lot, okay? I do feel like there's a communications about dropping certain options or investments here, okay? And that is going to take place, or you're thinking of doing it now, all right? Give me this. And the advice here is to do a cleanup, you know, delete old things, you know, that you don't need anymore so that you can move on, because I do see you going into a pretty big phase here. Looks pretty damn positive, okay? If there's been a languishing ending, I see you moving towards that ending, okay? And again, this could be as simple as a home, or it could be as complex as a job scenario here, all right? Especially if there was a languishing new beginning with it, or a languishing process to finish something up here that was of some significance, all right? Because I do see some fast movement here to spearhead an ending on that, or like the sun being shown on something here that maybe wasn't so favorable or something, you know, where they just like wanted it to end, you know, and I see that happening. As well as some healing, and I am getting a lot of communications vibes, as well as some movement vibes, and like a renewal for you, okay, internally here on a self-care matter, from being able to go forward, okay, and to, you know, restore, you know, the balance of your home life as well as your career. Some of you could be, you know, choosing to be at home now or work at home, because it's definitively, you know, like somebody's investing a lot of time into something new at work here, as well as having a lot going on within your home. It looks damn good. It does look like, you know, there was some sort of tower blown, or some sort of issue here with some sort of deal or offer that was like caused you grief, and there may have been some backstabbing involved that was pretty heavy here. I do see that in the past here, and I do see an end to that situation and a grieving over it, okay? You know, which I think has already passed, and that you're stepping into this new phase. So it looks damn good. It looks damn good. Let me just, I want to get give me some final advice from my Scorpio. Your ruler, your Greek Hellenistic ruler, is still in Gemini and will continue to be so, okay? It is in the latter decan, hovering, because I believe it's still in retrograde here. Some of you may be training, again, I am getting some sort of there is something here about some heavy competition or training here, okay, or something that was kind of languishing that brought you some heartbreak here, okay, towards your independence, okay. And some of you may be waiting for a child to fully be independent or something of this sort. But for others of you, I feel like there could have been something about like the sweet side of your, like you felt like you've had to be tough a lot lately. I feel like those swords are finally being removed here, okay, in regards to some independence and freedom that you've been waiting on for quite some time after some heavy training or work here that may have involved many people, all right. And if you felt like you weren't well received or something of this sort, I feel like that's also going to change. Like the feelings like you couldn't relax or fully express yourself, you know, and especially your softer side. Okay. So anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful month, rest of the month, and I will see you I will be doing a check-in, all right, for singled and troubled in love, all right, as well, and see you for your new moon reading. Bye, Scorpio.